Every year, people who write software for Apple products get together at the Worldwide Developers Conference. This year's event, the first since the death of Steve Jobs, begins this morning in San Francisco.
It's a chance for Apple to showcase its latest and greatest innovation. CNET editor-at-large Brian Cooley is here to show us what to expect. Welcome.
Thank you.
What do we expect?
We expect a lot of focus on mobile, guys.
On mobile.
You know, people still think of Apple as Apple Computer. They changed their name years ago to just Apple. That was very important. And we're going to see a big emphasis on what they really do today, which is mobile devices. iPad, iPhone, and the iPod Touch, which kind of gets undercovered. That's the majority of their business now. Computers are almost a sideline, which is remarkable. That's how far the world has come in the last few years. Everything we do now is on tablets and phones for the most part. And they are going to be moving to the point where we're going to be seeing a lot of emphasis on how developers, like you were mentioning, Gayle, people who write software, can do more on the mobile devices. They should be rolling out their own map and navigation application. Right now they use Google's. These two companies don't get along all the time. They'd rather not have any Google in their device. So we're going to be seeing them do their own maps, 3D, beautiful photo imagery we expect. That's one big change.
Do you think they're feeling nervous? I mean, do you think they're thinking this is the first presentation since the death of Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
We got to really be good today.
Yeah, it's the first of these developers conferences since Jobs, and a lot of people were asking, we were talking beforehand, who's the new visionary? Who's the one person? Apple's full of visionaries, of course, but who's the one? Who's that sharp nose cone on that missile that takes them forward? That's the thing. And we haven't identified one. Tim Cook is a brilliant operational guy. He knows how to run a company, a tech company, which is important, brilliantly. Phil Schiller is the head of marketing there. You may have seen some new commercials they're running where they have stars in them.
John Malkovich, I love.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And there's the Samuel L. Jackson one where he's making risotto.
But not everybody loves those.
That's
not everybody loves Phil Schiller's style.
They've been kind of controversial in that Apple seems to be leaning on sort of an implied celebrity endorsement for the first time in ages, if ever, and that this is sort of almost trying too hard. The question is Apple taking a new take on their messaging? Do they feel as if they have to do something to scramble? Or are they still the incredibly self-confident company that they were, quietly self-confident that they have been during the Jobs era?
What was in the pipeline before Steve died?
Everything we've seen so far. The Jobs fingerprints are still on everything out there. We haven't exited the Jobs vision yet. He had his fingerprints on this new iPad that's out now, iPhone 4S, even the new iPhone that we expect coming out in a few months. These all have Jobs fingerprints on them. Once we cross into 2013, we'll start to really see the new Apple.
So what's the new iPhone going to be like?
We expect it to have a larger screen for sure. That's not coming out today, but we expect it to have a larger screen because it's right now kind of a tiny phone. Everyone's gone to these giant 4-inch screens that are almost kind of weird looking to hold to your head. But who makes calls anymore? You're using them now as a tablet, and they need to have more space.
So you take that around with you wherever you go, correct?
Yeah, I carry an iPad and I carry a large phone.
Hand? I mean,
I carry this thing around for occasional use, Charlie. I'm not huge on the tablet. The smartphone is where most of us have gone.
Because you can take it with you
because
easily.
It's more portable. It's more it's more intuitive. I just grab it and it's there as opposed to getting this big thing out of, what, a bag or something?
Yeah. What's Apple TV going to be?
Purse.
My purse, right.
Your purse.
Apple TV is going to get an update, we think, to have the ability for developers, like we were mentioning earlier, to write programs and new features for it. Right now, Apple controls that Apple TV box we're looking at right there, which lets you stream television to your full screen. But developers can't get in there. Well, there are hundreds of thousands of apps for all these mobile devices. Where's that energy that could be aimed at Apple TV? It's not available yet. So we expect that that may be opened up to those developers, and that could be a big breakthrough.
I don't know. Some friends of mine have Apple TV. It looks very cool.
Gorgeous.
Do you see the day that we'll all think we got to have an Apple TV?
Without a doubt, the concept of streaming television, or what's called over the top, you get television over the top of your existing home broadband connection, is the future. It absolutely is. The question is, will it be Apple TV or an Apple television? Will it be a Google-powered TV? Will it be one of these current Samsung smart TVs? It's a very vibrant market.
What about the question of when, too? Because a lot of these things sound great.
Yeah.
But realistically, when is it going to work for everyone?
You hear about cutting the cord, as they say, which is this idea of saying, forget you, cable company, forget satellite. I'm going to go all internet for my TV viewing. You lose a lot of things right now. You have to work harder to get content from more places, and a lot of things, a lot of live shows and sports and things aren't available. It's going to take the better part of a decade, but that's not long by the time we get there.
What do you think the one thing is that Apple needs to do this week at the Developers Conference?
Is the thing that I can't identify is to wow us with one of those one more things that Steve used to do. It's been several years since they have changed the horizon. Where's the new iPhone? Where's the new tablet? Where's this new Apple television? That may be the next big thing that they do, but they've been evolving very well lately, but not revolutionary.
I think what they have to do is convince everybody that there is an Apple beyond Steve Jobs.
Yes.
That's
the
enormous.
idea.
And that's for both investors as well as for the consumer that really understood Jobs was what I was buying into. They didn't understand all the minutia, but they got it.
And to your point, Charlie, too, what Jobs would always say is, he sort of created the things that you didn't know you needed until it was there.
And that's the
And
thing
it's
that we
not
haven't
clear that they
seen
have that
lately.
person.
Right.
It may be that there isn't one out there. They shouldn't innovate just for innovation's sake.
There is this notion that Facebook and Apple and Google and Amazon are fighting with each other for dominance. What's the goal?
The goal right now is to be present on all my devices, which really means in all my places in my life, as opposed to being something I use on a desktop and then I go do this on a phone and this on a tablet. All those screens all connect universally to become constant all the time. Whoever can crack the code on that, no one really has, owns the future.
I'm trying to figure out how accessible I want to be, Brian. That's what I'm trying to
You're pretty
That's the
accessible
next
already.
question. Yeah.